Cover Slave, the show where we play Warhammer 30k because Warhammer 40k is Apocalypse and Apocalypse is dead to us. With me as always is Clarence, aka Skimask Mohawk, aka Clary.
AKA Clarence.
Aka Clarence,
Yeah.
and you're playing Nightlords today, Clarence.
Yep.
Fun.
Very
Tell us
original.
about it.
We're playing 2,000 points.
2,000 points.
This game, we've been playing 3,000 points lately, so we scaled it down. No Primarchs for either of us.
Nope.
I think I have more stuff on my list because I have less.
You have a new special character.
I do, and
What's his
his name's hard to pronounce. It's Madrim.
Mangle his name for me.
Okay, it's Madrim Lansai. It's kind of annoying to pronounce.
Chevaletesh.
Yeah, whatever.
Leviathan. Okay.
He's the Nightlords' promised Medicaid character. He's
He
interesting.
takes care of all those poor people being flayed alive, right?
Yeah, he takes care of them.
Right. I'm running my Sons of the Sigillite Iron Warriors. Nothing particularly new on my part, I don't think.
No.
So we'll see how that goes. Anything else to announce, Clarence? No?
No.
Cool. Well, I guess we'll move on to the unholy long fucking explanation of terrain and armies and stuff.
My 2,000 point Nightlord Legion list. I have Sevatar as the Warlord, and he does have his normal Warlord trait, the 6th Ed style Master of Ambush, so that's acute senses for all outflankers. I have Madrim, whatever his last name is, next to him there. I have three terror squads, 2 5-mans, 1 10-man. I have 7 Terminators and Cataphracti armor with a dedicated Land Raider or Spartan tank, Tankus as their transport. I have a Sakaran with double las cannon sponsons, and I have a Contemptor in his pod, and I'm using Terror Assault for my Rite of War.
This is my 2,000 points Sons of the Sigillite, aka Iron Warriors list. Starting up front, we've got a Consul Delegatus here with the Pride of the Legion Rite of War, and then he's got a Chain Fist, Terminator armor, and a relic, the Blind Helm of Black Judges. Next to him is another Delegatus. This one is a Siege Breaker. He has Artificer armor and a Power Fist. Next to them is a Navigator stock, and then we also have a Apothecary with Artificer armor. Behind them we have a Legion Support Squad with 4 Plasma. Sergeant's got Artificer armor, Augury Scanner, Bolter, and a Drop Pod with Rhino with Dozer Blades. Then we have 10 veteran tactical guys, 2 Plasma, Combi Plasma on the Sergeant, who's also got Power Fist, Artificer armor, and Nunzio Vox. They all have been upgraded with Melta Bombs. Next to them we have Tyrant Terminator Squad. They have 4 Power Fists. The Sergeant's got a Chain Fist and a Combi Melta. Next to them we have a Rapier Quad Gun. Behind the Rhino we have Derdio Dreadnought with Alios missiles. I did not give it the better armor, but it does have shrapnel bolts. Next to that, Medusa, also the shrapnel bolts, and I've given it a Dozer Blade as well as the Twin Link Bolter. And we have a Scorpius with Dozer Blade, and last but not least, a Xiphon with all the upgrades. So that's Armored Cockpit, Chaff Launchers, and Ground Tracking Auguries. So yeah, that's 2,000 points. And the Warlord trait for my Warlord is Coordinated Strike, I believe, which is rerolling 1s for shooting within 12 inches.
So this is our very obnoxiously long terrain section. So we have a pretty urban board here. We have normal ruins, how we do it, so no melting through walls, only through the doors. You can't assault or climb up the fronts, only where there's no coping. So we have this piece, and a couple corner pieces that all follow those rules pretty normally. This also follows the same rules, but as you can see, there's really not a lot of coping. Or there is a lot of copings, not a lot of normal places to climb up. There's only here, a ladder over here, and this small, narrow staircase that everyone would have to go up. We have this rather impressive but odd piece here. The only way to get up on the higher areas is to follow this long, winding staircase. It's the only way up. Can't get up onto the barrels, except if you had jump infantry. Neither of us do, and if you fall off, you're forced to flee and go off. You take a little 6th edition adapted rule of like super dangerous terrain falling down. It's modified by how far you fall. It's really the only oddities. We have a bunch of destructible terrain. It's all going to be 5-out cover save, like our vehicles, low little barricades. Simple dangerous terrain. If you pass, it gets removed. If not, you're stuck there and it's gone. We have our little moving storage crate, shipping crates there that are passable, not destructible. And that's pretty much it for us. We are playing with our Fear the Flanks special rule in place, so you can charge when walking on from reserve, either through like normal reserve or outflank, but not from deep strike, of course. That's it for the terrain discussion. We'll be back with mission deployment. For our mission deployment, we of course did Crusade. We rolled up 4 objectives, which are here. We have one right there. We have one right here. We have one way in the corner under that building. And we have one kind of in the center of this complex. And for deployment, we rolled 5th Ed style table quarters. I think it's called Search and Destroy. And for deployment, I won the roll-off, so I deployed Sevatar and the Apothecary character and Terminators and Spartan right here. And the Sakaran there, and I infiltrated 5 guys under the roof to avoid artillery, and the rest is in reserves. In reserves, I have my Contemptor coming down turn 1, and I have the 2 terror squads outflanking.
That's my deployment. I'm gonna go over here. So, got my support squad up here. Joined to them is my Navis Nobilite Navigator. Got my Medusa here. My Scorpion here. Rapier quad gun here. 10-man vet squad. I got my Delegatus with them and Apothecary. 5-man unit of Tyrant with Siegebreaker with them. And I got my Rhino out in front just to block LOS. Last but not least, we got my Walker there, who's just chilling. Yeah, so then we'll go on to reserves. For reserve here, we've got my Xiphon coming on, hopefully. Alright, gonna try and steal the initiative on clearance. Here we go. No. Wah, 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 wah.
This is the bottom of Nightlord's turn 1. First of all, we rolled for the 2+ night fighting for the Nightlord Rite of War. That came in, so that's good. My drop pod also came in, dropped there. I shot 2 Graviton blasts that create dangerous terrain for the rest of the turn, like until my turn again. I did a hull point to each tank. And then moving on over here. Oh, and he tried to Aether Stave Snapfire Intercept at it.
Doing nothing.
Killing one of his own guys. And then I claimed first blood by destroying his Rhino with my tanks further down the field. And that's it for Nightlord turn 1. See you at the bottom of Iron Warriors turn 1.
The end of turn 1 for Iron Warriors / Sons of the Sigillate. Starting over here. So, where do we start? I had to pass many a dangerous terrain checks because of clearances as well. Place uses of grab weaponry, but I've succeeded. This guy, in addition to like everything, blew up the pod and then blew up that. So it was basically the combined shooting my whole army to take out that pod and take out that Contemptor. The only real other firing was him. He targeted all the way over here and went wide and unfortunately didn't hit the Sakaran, but I think he winged a guy inside the building over there. Moving back over here, we have his Alios missiles as well targeted these guys underneath the floor there because they can actually shoot through terrain. And I got Clarence's Sergeant and one other guy, I think, so that was pretty cool, but they didn't run. So yeah, not the most eventful turn 1, but we have reserves coming, so we'll see the end of Clarence's turn 2.
So this is the bottom of Nightlord turn 2. The night fight effect continued over, so that's one thing to know. Starting over here, I moved at 12, and using Power of the Machine Spirit, managed to kill 2 Terminators. My Sakaran turbo boosted and drifted all the way over here to kind of set up a flanking thing. And reserves, my unit of 10 came on over on this board edge. I didn't shoot with them and tried to multi-charge with the tank as my primary target, but I rolled a 3 for my charge, so they're stuck in the open.
Requiring a 4.
For the 3 units of barrage and the plasma. So, see you at the end of Iron Warriors turn 2.
End of Iron Warriors, aka whatever, turn 2. Start over here. I very much move to counter Clarence's outflank here. So with combined shooting of Buddy's etheric staff, which Clarence actually saved all of.
Lidless Stare.
Lidless Stare, whatever. Bunch of shooting here. I think I killed 3 or 4 from that. But basically he's down 7 guys.
Yeah.
Didn't run though. Moving on down. This unit maneuvered a bit over here, then shifted by running because it didn't have a target. So that's just one giant unit chilling there with my leader in it. He moved about 6 inches to here, and just enough to get a side shot on the land rear, but sadly Clarence passed his 6+ cover save because I hate him. These guys over here moved about 5-6 inches to here, just kind of chilling, hoping to probably move towards the objective. Last but certainly not least, the Alios missiles on Buddy targeted Clarence's unit over there, and they're actually running because I got one more and he failed it. So interesting stuff. We'll see you at the end of Clarence's turn 3.
This is the bottom of Nightlords turn 3. There was no knight for this turn to start things off with, and coming on over here, my last unit reserves came on. They shot and then charged the plasma gun squad and killed the navigator and all that. Failed to consolidate under the ruins. My 3-man squad tried to multi-charge the Scorpius and the Rapier, and only got off on the Scorpius, managed to kill that. Over here, the Terminators got disgorged and charged his Terminators and managed to kill them all in one round of combat, but he managed to kill one of my guys in return. The Spartan managed to shoot the rear of the Medusa and get the weapon destroyed result of the Medusa cannon itself, so that was pretty useful. Way over here, my Sakaran managed to inflict 2 hull points on the Dreadnought, but it was only through glancing, so he can still shoot at full firepower. And way over there, my 2 dudes rallied, so they got to do the 3-inch little shuffle back towards the objective. But that's it, and see you at the end of Iron Warrior turn 3.
At the end of Iron Warriors, aka Sons of the Sigillite, turn 3. Let's start over here. My Xiphon flew on 18 inches, targeting Clarence's Terminator Seer. I fired with everything, killing 1 Terminator, so that was cool. Moseying on down here. Moved 6 inches with my very wounded Medusa. Fired its heavy bolter with shrapnel rounds. First time ever firing this. 1, 2, 3 dead Marines with a 2+ guy out in front, so that was fun. Moving on down here, I engaged these guys with my Dreadnought there, and I think Clarence passed all his saves. But he also engaged with the Alios and took out the remaining dudes on that objective, so that's very good. Moving back over here, this guy shot Clarence's Terminators, but he passed all his saves. This big unit moved and charged Clarence's, I almost called it the Sakaran, but I stopped myself. Giant tank, what's it called?
The Spartan.
Spartan. So Spartan got Spartaned and it died. So that makes me happy. That's pretty much it. So we'll see you at the end of Nightlords turn 4.
The end of Nightlords turn 4. Not too much happened in this turn. Moving down here, my Sakaran shot at his Doredio in the butt and killed it. My squad that was on the roof just moved under the roof. And my Terminators and Savitar shot and then charged his veteran squad after getting precognition off on Savitar, and they managed to burn them all down in one round of combat. And I got Warlord from that, and the point from Pride of the Legion for killing all of his veterans and Terminators. So that's the end of Nightlords turn 4. See you at the end of Iron Warriors turn 4.
It's the end of my turn 4. Very eventful turn 4 over here. So I backed up like 6 inches, trying to contest my own objective, and shot a heavy bolter there, doing nothing. I moved my artillery piece, and then snap-fired shooting directly with its 4-shot direct fire mode, and I actually killed a trooper, but he made his leadership save. Last but not least, the Xiphon over here, another 18, shot and killed the Sakaran. So although that doesn't give me any VPs, I still feel it's a moral victory. So I'll see you at the end of Nightlord turn 5.
The bottom of Nightlord turn 5. Starting down over here, I rolled 4 inches to get up on top of the building. I passed precognition and tried to throw a crack grenade at his plane. He jinked and I didn't hit, but the mastercrafted Archaeotech pistol off the apothecary character rolled a 6 to hit, rolled a 6 to pen, and he failed the jink on the 3+ from Agile. So I would say that's points well invested. Now over there, the Terror Marines shot the side of the Medusa and killed it. And that's it for Nightlord turn 5. See you at the end of Iron Warrior turn 5.
Oh, it's the end of Iron Warriors, aka Sons of the Sigilite, turn 5. The most eventful turn of all time. So there was a plane over here, and I flew it off the board just in case Clarence forces this to turn 6. Over here, I didn't even have line of sight to my own dudes, so I targeted the wreck that was there, blew it up, hit them twice, but never wounded them. So, yeah, that was the entirety of my turn 5. And, yeah, I guess we roll... Oh, no, we don't even roll. You just forced turn 6.
It's going to turn 6.
Fuck you, Clarence. All right, turn 6. We'll see you turn 6.
All right, so it's the end of turn 6. There's a lot of eventful actions this turn. Moving down over here, I moved. Then way over there, I shot and charged, and nothing happened. So, see you at the end of Iron Warrior turn 6.
End of Iron Warriors, aka Sons of the Sigilite, turn 6. 6. Starting over here. We fought combat, and we didn't do anything to each other, so sweet. My Xiphon, who was in ongoing reserve, flew back on, engaged with his Terminators here, killing 1 Terminator. We'll see you in the post-game show, guys. No, actually, I should do the score. So, I've got nothing here, and Clarence has 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have nothing here, and Clarence has 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
And you had Warlord, First Blood.
Did they line break?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
With 6. So it's 9 for you.
Yeah.
And 0 for me.
Mm-hmm.
See you in the post-game show. Welcome to the post-game show. As always, I'm Crablezworth and with Clarence.
A.K.A. Clarence.
Okay, Clarence, a.k.a. Skimask Mohawk. Give me your MVP.
Alright, so, my MVP of the game would have to be, I don't know, maybe this Karen, maybe the Spartan, like, everything did...
Karen was too late.
Everything did alright, I guess. Yeah. Probably the Terminators. Has to be the Terminators. They just punch shit.
Yeah, they like swallow that whole unit, just like... Epic fail.
It would either be the squad that failed the 4-inch charge to then get bombed, or it would be the Dreadnought, but the Dreadnought made you scramble. The
Dreadnought at least made me react. It also, to be fair, it also literally controlled everything I did in terms of deployment.
Yeah. So, probably the 10-man squad that just didn't do fucking anything.
No. I can see that. I mean, that sucks to fill out the 4-inch charge.
I also think that same squad then failed the 3 heavy bolter saves too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They were just
it was definitely them. They suck.
Hands down. My stuff, I will say epic fail. Oh, MVP. I have to have an MVP.
The heavy bolter. Medusa heavy bolter.
Everything was just like a combined killing. Like, it's hard to like put one thing like, yeah, he did something. I will, I'll give it to the veteran squad that was wiped out because they actually did something collectively that I can pin to only them, and that was take out the Spartan. I mean, it was not a good play in order to really get me anything, but it felt right. I'd already lost at that point anyway, so it's kind of like, why not?
It could have been the radio with the ALOS launcher onto the backfield squad.
Yeah, but like, it's gonna happen anyway. Like, he's hitting you. Imagine he hits you on 5. There's like no variables whether or not. It just comes down to whether your dude's too. Yeah, sorry, DS5. It just comes down to whether you have a 2+ guy in front, and if he dies early, like,
yeah,
it's just the math on it is if I shoot you for 5 turns, it won't matter anyway. So he basically only did what I brought him for. His other shooting was not anything to write home about, realistically.
He killed pods and stuff, and
he helped kill a pod. I don't think he did it all himself.
No, the rockets killed the pod, I think.
Yeah, he like tried to hurt the Dreadnought or something.
Yeah,
helped with that. No, yeah, okay, so yeah, epic fail is gonna go to my Tyrant Siege Guard, actually. I didn't play them very well, and they got like smoked very early. They really got shot off. So
they killed the drop pod.
Yeah, that was it. That was basically it.
Yeah.
And they didn't get shot up after that, so.
No.
Fucking flare shield, man.
Oh yeah, it's good.
It's kind of
The fair shield.
the fair shield. It's anything but fair shield.
It's
You pay
20
for it.
ish points.
I'm just wait. I'm gonna be armor 15 all the time, just all day, all night.
Wait, if you're taking you're
Take
talking about
fortifications,
yeah,
like,
or
yeah.
fortifications.
So 2 minutes or less. Your thoughts on this game in particular?
I don't know, first 2,000 point game in a while. It felt really small and went pretty fast as well, despite the fact we really dragged it out. We could
We
have called
started
it
this at 5 and it's like 7 or some
it's
shit.
like
It's
8.
so early.
And we like dragged it like 2 or 3 turns past where it needed to end.
I almost feel we can go to 2,500 pretty easily.
Oh yeah, for sure. Super fast in
Within
terms of
3,000.
that. First game in a couple games without Primarch.
No.
It's like 3 or 4 games actually, and so that was interesting too, because usually he jumps around, like is another big like distraction kind of like thing to deal with.
We call it more of an annoyance than a distraction.
It's both. And I also had to worry about my warlord potentially getting schwacked because he's only a toughness 4 guy without Eternal Warrior, but that worked out. I also had making a list. Fitting everything I wanted to 2,000 was hard because I really wanted the Spartan because I knew he'd probably bring a lot of artillery, and so I had to keep some things light, but it paid off in the end because the Spartan belched the guys out into his zone.
Your plane wasn't really missed.
No.
Not on my part or your part.
No. Really didn't like the 4-inch failed charge. That sucked.
Boy, outflanking isn't an automatic win all the time?
Really happy with my choice to stay with Sevatar's
Yeah.
in a warlord trait because the squad that did manage to like clean up the plasma dudes.
You've got that one flank and then you rolled and got
Yeah,
that flank.
yeah. I rolled the wrong flank. I was like, oh shit, I'll reroll it, and it got the good flank.
Their senses were rather acute.
Yeah, it's pretty cute. But needlessly dragged it out to turn 6.
It was like over on turn 3.
How about you? Thoughts?
I learned a lot. The core of my list probably shouldn't be all like barrage sit on your ass, even though that's not terrible points wise. I didn't use my IC support character stuff very well. I'm like, oh, if I put my navigator in with a support squad, I could shoot his drop pod. But I'm like, I still forget the whole like needing 6s part, and that like I'm gonna fucking kill myself just to, like I have the same odds to hurt myself I do to hurt you. So what happened? I fucking got like 1 hit on you and killed one of my own guys. It was like totally pointless. So I think I'll put the navigator somewhere else next time. I should have considered the apothecary in that unit, but at the same time, nah. I probably should have just put the leader in that unit because rerolling 1s sort of does the similar duty, double duty if anything. Yeah. So that's cool. But yeah, my list was not ideal.
Yeah, you basically tried to downsize your 3,000 point list into like the 2,000 point instead of just like kind of making it from like building up again.
Also, the Blind Helm of Black Judges it's night and day. It goes from being incredibly good when it's power armor to like better than nothing.
Yeah.
Because even with 12 fucking wounds, I've got 2 Terminators down. Like it really is very different depending on the situation. The other thing too is if everything you're doing is predicated on like, hey everyone, charge me, which is kind of what I was thinking, like it's kind of weak.
Yeah. I definitely think it's better in a Kier Valen type gun line.
Perhaps.
It's definitely better too if you play with less terrain than we do.
We do play with a lot of terrain.
But that's in my mind not like a bad thing. It's like basically when you have to force your opponent to like charge you because you're just laying down a lot of firepower like across the board. You can't do as much with our board obviously. There's a lot of blockage of flat like ground fire. But when you do force them to actually have to come to like weather all the fire, like kind of you towel them, right? You have to charge them eventually, and then like they charge you, you're like, fuck you! Like here's like 2d6 string 5 AP3s.
It's not bad for the 40 points, but it's not something I should be building a whole fucking model around.
No,
that's kind of.
I think the if you want to have like a janky relic thing, it'd definitely be like Nanite Phase Walker, and that's what you build it around. You just go like pew.
could almost see doing that with the Delegates because I am saving points. I'm going to give you a VP no matter what for Warlord, so it's kind of like may as well be an expensive Warlord.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it. He's delegated who gets to die.
So like even like turn 1, turn 2, like I move up, and then like your turn 3, you can like teleport like over to my home base unit and just like explode them, and then I don't have anything on the objective.
What I should be thinking about before too is that I always think scoring, but I'm never thinking contesting, and he could totally contest. So that could be very good insurance policy for like, oh, they have that one objective back there. Nah. Like just be a total cunt about it. I mean, I'll probably pass the like 4 or 5 dangerouses anyway. So I'm falling out of love with the Xiphon. Up till now, we've always had both of them for us, so it's always been that sort of
pretty much
yin and yang, like we'll go for each other. Now that you don't have it in your list currently, I kind of see its limitations because unless it has a good target, it's not contributing very much.
Yeah. Like for me, there's always like a good target in your list. There's always like a Medusa or like a Scorpius or like a stupid Dreadnought. And it's like, okay, yeah, I'll shoot at that. Like I'll try and kill that, and then you can kill like some whatevers. But if it's like, oh, there's a Spartan.
It's one of those things too where like I'll see this is what I'll do. I'll take it on my list. We'll play a first event, and then like everyone will have a flyer, and I'll just put like right back in. That's probably what'll happen.
Yeah. Well, I think you'd also like it a lot more if it was the real Xiphon model, as you know.
Because as it's a count as, everyone's always getting confused. What is that giant flyer that?
Well, I think it's just the satisfaction of truly owning the absolute 100% correct model, because then you get to tell people yours is wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm the real.
And then you don't have to worry about WYSIWYG for weapons.
No.
Because reasons.
Those last cannons could be whatever the fuck you want, because you paid for the right model.
Of course.
Maybe not the right weapons.
Entitlement is 9/10 of this game.
Possibly not the right weapons, but the right model. You paid for that. You have that over everyone else.
That's very true.
I
guess that's it for the game. We can move on to our new segment, which is praising 30k.
And we're talking about.
And we're just talking about 30k. Clarence, why don't you start us off?
Well.
Actually, no. We'll just want to make sure we're still recording. Hold that thought, Clarence. I can barely tell with this bright light on if we're still recording.
I'm pretty fucking blind. All right, we're back to recording.
Wait! I gotta do the thing.
What thing?
The slate.
What? Oh, you're making it orange?
No.
What?
The slate.
Oh, it's like the slate for the light.
Listen, Jason didn't go to the dollar store for nothing. Mark. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so we're back to the recording.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about 30K.
General discussion, praise.
It was the weekend or whatever it was, the birthday event today where they showed off a backload of new stuff. There's like the Mastodon.
40 years of gouging.
Okay, well, I guess we could talk about the Mastodon and why do we need another transport possibly even larger than the Spartan. It's super awesomely cool. I guess we can agree on that, right?
I guess
it's
some of the
cool.
cancer from like the GW side is like getting into Forge World. Like I think Jervis has a forward operating base there in their offices, and he's like slowly throwing super heavies at them that they have to put out.
He's like America. He's claimed part of their office as his own country. Like
he only released like their families after they put out the Warlord. He's like, okay, good, you can go.
Mastodon, very cool model.
Yeah.
Potentially good rules wise. But it's giant.
Just fucking huge.
Like,
man.
even more giant, I think, than the Spartan, which...
When we were setting up this game, we had to move the Spartan, like, everywhere to make sure it could fit. Because, like, that's just the proper thing to do. But that thing is, like, fucking... The Mastodon's like that. I'm pretty sure you could crack anyone's skull with it. Onto the giant...
I think it would feel pretty satisfying. We can agree on that.
It's a neat
cool
model.
There's... Korax painted, like we see painted pictures of him.
This looks less like a L'Oreal commercial, but
yeah,
it still doesn't look right. His body is great, but his hair is, If it's actually a separate head though, that'll be a great bit.
Helmet.
Sure, no, what I'm saying.
They're all separate heads.
I'm saying you just take the head out and put it on someone else, and then just have them doing the fucking metal, like fucking be great.
Yeah. So I think he greatly desiring a helmet for Christmas.
Those wings are never gonna make it to anyone intact. You're gonna get it out of the bubble wrap. It'll be like a fork. Like it'll just like you can maybe even eat with it. You know.
It's fine.
Self-defense.
That's a cool fork. How much it cost? 65 pounds.
My $150 fork.
Yeah. There's Alpha Legion dudes, the Headhunters. I didn't really see good pictures of it. They look cool enough. And
The Leviathan got a new weapon because it apparently needed a new
Melt the
weapon.
Lance, yeah.
You know what it does? Yeah.
No, I only saw the name tag next
Okay.
to it. And
Let's assume it fucks shit up.
yeah, Raven Guard, Vanguard equivalents look cool. They have like techie looking breastplates.
Nice.
Stuff. No new rules. I've heard rumors of no point adjustments in the next book for like the Breachers or the Assault Marines or the Justaran or whatever. Like all the stuff that's known to have like be a bit overcosted.
Might be a bit incentivizing.
But at the same time, I have heard in the past, like from people asking the designers that they wanted to look at those problems. So I don't know. There's rumors. We'll see.
That's what concerns me too with them doing the book series is they're doing like how do you address problems from like 3 books ago without just coming out with a new version of that book or.
I don't know. Their FAQ has been pretty decent. Like they did address, some say over nerfed the more attached with the plasma chain fire.
Even with the Crusade Army List book, it's still very intimidating to get into 30k because like I was as well this way like what are these relic things you're talking about? And they're like in like the 4th book or in Conquest.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I guess I just didn't read Conquest. Okay.
That seems like a fairly standard like problem. Like we have all these people like asking questions like they're trying to make their list because everyone's enthused because of Betrayal of Calth. And
enthusiasm is great, but it's not to be mistaken for competency.
Yeah. So they're like, mentioned to them like, oh, that'd be really cool. You can like take this item to like do this, and they're like, what item? Like
what are you
I didn't know about. Like I didn't know about that.
We're like the
like,
dark age of technology.
Well, it's in the 4th book, and like a lot of people, I think, especially the 4th book, it's mainly like a campaign system book. People don't really know too much about it, because it's like the campaign systems, like more campaigns, the Knights list, the Solar Auxilia list, and relics.
The Knights list.
At least it's better done than the 40k version.
Sort of. I'll agree with you. It's better than the 40k version. It's just that's not saying much. Like the 40k isn't even a codex. It's just sort of like you got 3 or 5. Do it.
Hey Ben, they released more options. There's different.
Sorry, that's right. There's a second version of the Knight Codex.
There's the whatever, the Warden and the whatever. Ignoring the fact that it's still just different weapon options. Not actual model.
I bought a Knight thinking I could use it, and then finding it I can't. And
Has it arrived yet?
It might come this week. I'm kind of happy I can't because I feel that would pigeonhole. That would be like that one thing in everyone's list. Like if not the Typhon, then that. Not that I would like want one or the other. Like I don't want either in everyone's list, but it's gonna happen. Everyone's gonna get Typhons, and then like everyone's gonna have Typhons. It's just every game. It's just like, oh, that 500-point unit. It's gonna go.
Pretty good.
ITC doesn't get everything right, but they might be on the ball. I don't know.
For the Typhon, possibly.
At least it ends up being expensive. Like if you give it the shit, it's like $390 or something. The turrets or the not the turrets. Sorry.
I think it's.
Last sponsors.
You don't. But why? Like.
Oh, you don't need to. I'm just saying, like if you do
nice
that, it's
you
like almost 200
shoot
points.
at different targets because you're super heavy. Like pew pew pow.
Still pretty limited, but yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you're not like it's like oh well I'm gonna be shooting at the same target I just Typhoned, right? But you're kind of really unneeded on that.
Oh yeah, no. If it's the difference in your list, but I just meant if your list is exactly 2,000, okay. If the list is like 3,000 or 4,000, at that point you're probably just making up points as it is.
Yeah.
I like that Imperial Militia cult. Also.
Yeah.
That one is like the biggest love letter to old school gamers in a long time because when you can all of a sudden take out like old Necromuna models and make an army, that's fucking cool.
You could make an orc army.
Use
your
your
orcs, use your Tau, use your whatever's.
I'm sure that would make a lot of people very happy.
Mm-hmm.
We found a way to get Tau into 30k.
Well, that's really the Mechanicum list. You use Alex, yada yada.
Still funny. You can make some cool stuff though, like for the chaos side of shit.
You
You
can
want to
use
like chaos
Battle
guard and stuff.
Use your Sisters of Battle models.
You could like make them Sisters of Silence or some shit. You know,
Well,
cool.
I'm sure. I think the rules for those are actually coming up for the
That would be
for the
like-
Prospero book.
That's gonna be cool.
And Custodes and the other guy.
It'll be neat to see how they do them both in terms of differentiating between them because they're very similar in the fluff. Like just they're always together half the time. Like
The Sisters of Silence and the Custodes.
Well, they're just like especially with the Emperor. Like
Yeah.
they're just like peas and carrots kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
Just do that plus the Emperor plus them against demons.
Oh yeah, demons in 30k. That's
You don't see it often, but it's possible. Like in
It's-
terms of list, obviously.
yeah, it's perfectly legal. Primary detachment demons. Is it good? I don't know, but especially since a lot of the 30k weapons are like a lot better against guys with 4+ armor and like worse than they are against 3+ armor. Like when you can get like mass like AP4 like chain axes on every world leader for free, or like
That's where you want.
Volkite would like just very well against like lesser armored stuff with the flag rate with just like chains.
So you want to
Yeah.
have a navigator because
If they're summoning, yeah, you get to
something gets summoned within 12 inches of the navigator, you just get to intercept. Not even intercept, you just get to shoot it. It's not even
Yeah.
called interception. Full ballistic skill in their turn.
it's pretty great.
It's great.
So yeah, I don't know. Demons like they're pretty cheap, I believe. Like they're like standard like 40k cheap, no like forge roll premium attached to it.
Rerollable 2+?
Yeah, that can be
Oh,
pretty
good.
fucking annoying.
Good!
I think Warbear's their relic does like a -2 to enemy invul saves for a turn. It's like a one use. You just
It's like the opposite of Cursed Earth. Or something.
yeah, it's like you just nullify it almost. Remember Null Zone?
Yeah.
That was cool back in
Yeah,
the day.
it's like that.
But yeah, so maybe Warbears could do stuff. But otherwise, you know, they'll have their 2+ like Screamer Star or whatever, possibly, and then deal with it. Or not. Who knows?
Who knows? General praise for 30k?
Yeah, it's pretty good on the whole. I wish some of their like we were talking about super heavies and like the Typhon being awesome. I wish some of their like Baneblade chassis tanks were like less expensive because they're like 500, 600 points. And if you look at like a Warhound, it's like 100 points more, and you can get the double like quad essential D cannons
The
on it.
Warhound has always been weirdly costed because think of it like this as well. It's the 40k cost. Right?
Yeah.
It's not like a 30k adjusted cost.
They do have the 30k adjusted.
What's the rules or?
It's the Titan Legion thing from Tempest, where they actually made it better for no additional cost, right? They gave it like night
It's got
vision.
2 shields or something.
Well, I think
one,
they
or
almost
what
had
is
2
it?
shields, but it
Okay.
has night vision and it can't be
Hurt by haywire.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. So it got better for 750.
So they did tweak it,
Yeah.
but they made it better. But like you compare it to say like the I think the Glaive, where it has the big line of inch wide line of death, but it's like 625 points or something like that. It's like a really cool concept.
It's
but,
the same reason I never see taking my really cool Shadow Sword. That's really cool, but it's
Why?
ungodly expensive with like one meaningful shot and everything else sucks. And again, when that's like 300 or 400 points, like in the Typhon area, not great. But when it's
Especially
like,
since it is attached to your Lord of War slot because you're taking it with Perturabo, and it's the only time.
in
you
theory, I
can.
don't have to.
But no,
Like,
well,
I'm just saying, for sake of argument, I could just take a super heavy, right? If we're doing.
oh yeah, no, you could take a Shadow Sword, but like
Yeah, I'm just saying there's very little.
I think the
difference
Shadow Sword's
between-
more like points efficient than the other one.
Not even realistic, because again, you're just getting free shit. You're basically getting a transport capacity. For
And a Void Shield.
Great. it's nothing. It's not terrible, but it's like going back to going the other 250 points to get a Warhound. Why not? At that point, like 1 D-weapon shot versus 4 D-weapon shots. I mean, if you're gonna go full retide, you go full retide. Oh, our light went on.
Yay again.
Yay! Well, anything else to talk about? No?
Not really.
Cool.
We have our upcoming ish event we want to do.
Tournament, yes,
Yeah,
potentially.
tournament. Possibly
Invites will be coming shortly.
invite only. Late Feb, early March is the thought. So
Yeah. If it's late Feb, it'll be like very late Feb. If it's early March, it'll be like the first possible opportunity in March. So like the first week we can. We have to see how that mixes with March break and shit for people have kids and whatnot, that might be good. That might be really bad. So, yeah, we'll have more to announce on that soon. And then you can hope you get an invite because you're cool people. Alrighty, I have nothing else to say.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Cool. Well, thanks for watching Cover Slaves. And I'm supposed to tell you to subscribe, but I just don't give a fuck. If you like us, subscribe. If you don't,
And donate to our non-existent Patreon because we need lights that don't go out.
Go and eBay somewhere else. Like, I don't know. Patreon's great. All right, so thank you for watching, and play 30K because 40K is
Fucked.
Gods of war, may your hammer be mighty.